Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the cabin.
No Wheeler this morning. Lekter, Ollie, and Sarah on your Wednesday morning. And you better get used to it, because I think Wheeler's going to take Wednesdays off from this point on. That seems to be his want.
Seems to be the thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? You know who isn't taking the morning off? The people shoveling the snow outside.
They never do. You mean the Bromley crew here?
The Bromley crew here, the merry, dull thud below Studio One of people scraping and scraping and scraping.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The best maintenance crew in the north.
They work blooming hard.
They do.
Every time I roll in here at far too early o'clock in the morning, there's somebody out there in a bobcat.
I will say, though, as great as they are, there might be a better one-man maintenance crew in this city.
Really?
And he's in my neighborhood.
Oh.
I call him Unicycle Guy.
I love the unicycle guy.
Right? And you don't even know the half of it. Because I'm sure you've seen Unicycle Guy wheeling around town.
Oh, I have.
Doing his thing.
We got to the point last summer where Ollie was like, you cannot point him out any longer. You can't tell me where he lives. Like, every time we drive by his house, you're like, that's where he lives.
Well, it's rude to point, Sarah.
He's in a car. I was just the blue and white house. The blue and white house. I know. Stop talking about it.
He keeps that block running on time. If there's a snowfall, he will not only will his walk be shoveled the morning after. He's got his leaf blower out at 11 at night. He's making noise, but it's fine. No one cares because they know he's doing something good.
Well, if you were a unicyclist, wouldn't you want your sidewalk to be pretty pristine and non-slip?
It's a damn good point, Ollie.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
It is December 2nd. It's Lekter, Ollie, and Sarah with you this morning. Happy Wednesday morning to you. And I have to say, as we now have 23 days until Christmas, I have noticed a trend here at the cabin. The Christmas cheermeister here at Cabin Radio, without doubt, is Emily Blake.
Yeah.
She is just bursting with Christmas cheer.
It's super exciting. I don't know why I wouldn't have predicted that, but I didn't. And lo and behold, came in yesterday. We have this beautiful advent calendar in front of us. Now, I supplied this nice advent calendar. I've had it for a couple of years.
Yep.
It's more of an advent, I don't even know, an advent monument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a diorama almost.
Yeah. It's got a few carolers on it. There's a village scene. There's a Christmas tree that's gradually spinning around and around. There's a forest, the sort of arcs above it with candles that you lit up in it.
It's what I imagine all of Germany to look like during Christmas.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It is a very sort of Central European thing to have. And it's got these 24 little boxes. And the plan was going to be that we fill the boxes out and people get to open a box each day. Which I never got around to doing. But you know who did?
You know.
Christmas fairy Emily Blake.
Ah, there she is again.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed either. She keeps a low profile. Kind of plays her cards close to her chest, but those cards have come out in the form of Christmas cards. She made Christmas. Well, she didn't make Christmas cards. I actually asked about that. She started handing out envelopes, as Christmas cards to everyone. One for me to take home to show Nicole, and I was like, Emily, you made us Christmas cards? She was like, well, I signed it. I didn't make it.
I mean, that's fine.
That's pretty, that's still kind of like, it's becoming a lost art, I think, among, like, our generation and certainly younger generations. Like, it's a very traditional thing that you write Christmas cards. Maybe you write, like, a little letter and a little, how's the past year been? Send them to all your relatives. But I feel like that, with technology, we're more connected than we've ever been. We kind of know how things are going for the most part already in most people's lives that
badly,
that we care about, that we haven't blocked on Facebook.
Exactly. You look on Facebook, most people are complaining.
That's right.
The last thing you want to do is either draw attention to yourself by writing to that person or hear from that person ever again.
Yeah, I mean, 2020 more so than any year, we've really all been in the same boat. So, if you are to write to someone and say, how's your past year been? You already know. You know how it's been.
But I used to have relatives, acquaintances, and you'd see that they'd string up, they'd put string up and then hang cards like a washing line, like a laundry line.
Yeah.
With just all these, there'd be dozens of cards just hung up and strewn around the room. How do you even know this many people? How do this many people care enough about you to have sent you a Christmas card? What are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
That was your follower count back in like 1957.
1957 follower count. How many Christmas cards are there? I love that. How do you get verified? You take a photo of it, send it into a newspaper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have none of the same Christmas card up there, a la Mr. Bean.
Ah,
You
yes.
know, you can't just send Christmas cards to yourself and it'd be the same one, because that's just kind of sad. But nevertheless, Emily Blake she has proven in these early weeks as we march towards Christmas 2020 that she is, without question, the Christmas cheermeister here at Cabin Radio. And with that in mind, she took it upon herself to fill up said beautiful advent calendar that we have here in Studio One here at Cabin Radio. So I think because we're already a day behind on pulling this advent calendar, let's should we get it going?
We should get it going. I don't know what the rules are, because there's a bag here.
Yes.
That says Xmas Advent bag, and then but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the Advent bag.
So I asked
Maybe
her
it's
about
like
this yesterday.
Extras?
Yeah. So basically, there's 24 or 25.
Oh, I see numbers on some of the things in here. There's an 8.
There's 24.
There's a 5.
Yeah, little drawers in there. If you pull the drawers, they have little surprises in there.
Okay.
But not everything that she bought could fit in the drawers because, of course, the drawers are quite tiny. So if you pull a drawer and it just has a number in there, there is a number assigned to something in the Advent bag.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Sarah, we're going to give it to you to open Advent calendar day number 2.
Now,
so
before
I'm
you
gonna
begin-
film
I
this.
should
Yes,
warn
she
everyone
requested.
I'm very bad at opening presents, and I won't look excited at all.
Well, it's not a present. It's just, I don't know, a
Tiny present.
little trinket
Yes,
of some
so
kind.
I might
Yeah.
be able to cope. Am I doing number 1 or number 2? Did we say we're a day
Number 2.
behind?
AJ did number 1.
Number
Oh, he did
2.
number 1.
He did number 1 yesterday. Yesterday was the first.
Oh, when did
All
he
right.
do that?
Yesterday
are we ready?
afternoon.
Are we filming?
Oh,
Can I open it?
well,
All right. Hold on, Sarah.
Okay,
hold
okay,
on.
okay.
Suddenly, you're very into this. Yeah, okay. Door number 2. Here we
okay.
go.
Okay, I'm going to have to lean away from the mic to reach.
I can't hear you, Sarah.
I know, I
I'm
can't
kidding,
see.
I'm
I'm going to
kidding.
need to stand up. Oh.
All right, here we go.
Okay,
What do
it
we
looks
got?
like little earrings. Does this box actually come all the way out? It's stuck.
Some of them are, a little
My fingers
jammed
are not-
full.
Oh, this
My
is
fingers
just
don't-
tragic.
My fingers don't fit.
This is going to be great on
Can I dump
TikTok.
the advent calendar upside down?
No, you can't. It's precious.
I need tweezers. Oh, I got it. Look, it's like a little snowflake earring. I could wear that.
That's really cute.
Aw.
Thank you, Emily. And also shout out to Sarah and Megan, who decorated the entire office.
Now, I think you're supposed to put it on the calendar somehow. I don't know if there's a character on there that can wear earrings.
Oh, we don't actually get to keep the things?
No, I don't think that's how
Is that
Advent
the plan?
calendars work, Sarah.
Oh. What?
Unless they're chocolate.
Of course, that's how advent calendars work. You
I
get
mean,
Oh,
the
I thought
thing,
you were
keep
supposed
the
to
thing.
decorate the scene with something in there.
Oh, really?
I
That's
can.
no, I
Look,
always
I
grew
can
up with
put
Advent
these,
calendars.
earrings.
Now she's just
They're not for
vandalizing my
me.
calendar by ramming earrings in.
You know
no,
what?
No, but there's trees that have little cutout holes for snow, so I can. Oh shoot!
You see?
The Christmas cheermeister is causing confusion
Emily's gonna
and
see
mass
this and be
panic.
Like, what did no one want those? What did AJ do with his thing? What did AJ get?
Okay.
Yeah, what did AJ get?
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
didn't even know he pulled one.
Well,
AJ? I think he's here. Chocolate? Okay, well, he probably ate that. So, yeah, I guess you can wear the earrings if you want. All right, there we go. We're still figuring out this beautiful new Advent calendar here at Cabin Radio. But thank you to Emily Blake for taking the initiative of actually filling the Advent calendar with things to fill up our Christmas spirits. Now we just perhaps need an instruction manual.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
I was thinking we might talk about the new cannabis store licenses that have recently been issued by the GNWT. But I'll give you guys the option. I didn't think you were going to be around for this break, Ollie. So there was one that I wanted to save for you, and I was thinking of pushing because you were perhaps going to go get some breakfast.
Yes, it's still happening. It's still happening.
Okay, but so do you want to talk? Dog songs instead?
Dog songs.
Dog songs. Does that sound more appealing?
Sure, let's do dog songs, and,
Okay.
and
Dog
other people with more knowledge of cannabis stores can look after cannabis.
Okay,
stores.
perfect. We'll bring AJ in for that.
Okay.
Sarah. Now, of course, you are the well-known owner of the most popular and most adorable dog in the NWT,
Yes.
Penelope T-Dog.
Yes.
Do you ever sing songs to her?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe like a little bit,
Yeah.
but
You do do you like sing her little lullabies when she's going to sleep at night? No,
I don't
you
do
don't do
that.
that. Okay.
no. If anything, it's
No, who would do that?
Singing around the house and
That's a crazy thing
kind
to
of
do.
direct lines at her.
Yes. So you
No.
parody songs about her.
But no.
You don't.
I think just like whatever music is on, if I'm singing out loud, it's kind of also singing at her.
You're just looking
I
at
think
her.
every once in a while I'll pick her up and dance with her.
Oh.
But I'm not really usually singing then because she does weigh 40 pounds and it is a bit much. So
Right.
I'm focused on not dropping her at that
Well,
point.
why isn't that on the TikTok? I don't think we've seen a Sarah Penny dance party yet.
We could do that?
Could do
Yeah, as long as I don't have to sing.
Take that, NNSL. Your move. How are you going to match those moves? Sarah and Penny?
When I heard Dog Songs, though, I thought that you were going to give us another mix of Finnegan.
No, Finnegan
How-
is, he's still in the studio. He's still recording. He's become a bit of a perfectionist since his last hit EP, The Bad Dog. He's now kind of going into like Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy territory where he's taken months and months and months to work on one track, and it's getting tedious. The recording costs are skyrocketing. I feel like the label is probably going to drop him any minute. So who knows? Hopefully we'll see something, but I wouldn't be surprised if his next EP never sees the light of day. But no, what I was going to bring up is, so I do this thing, and I'm sure a lot of dog owners do this, where you sing, popular songs, well-known songs, but you insert your dog's name into them. I can't stop doing it. It is a compulsion of mine. Every time I hear a song that is, I know the lyrics, I have to change the lyrics into something about Finnegan and Jaya. Affectionately known nickname-wise in our household as Floopy and Bean.
See.
And
Okay.
some popular common selections of mine are Steely Dan's Ricky Don't Lose That Number, which becomes Floopy Don't Lose That Number. The Pinky and the Brain song comes up on occasion.
Can see that.
Which, and it like kind of suits their personalities. It becomes Floopy and the Bean.
Yep.
Floopy and the Bean. One is a genius, the other's insane.
Yeah,
It
it's
works
scans.
beautifully.
Yep.
There's a whole back roster of Floopy and Bean songs, but I brought it up because the other day I became self-aware of it. I just kind of do it like without thinking. I'll just be like, whatever, doing anything, like doing dishes, and I'll just start singing, a Floopy and Bean song. But the other day, I was taking them outside for the end of the day, walk around the block, doing their business, and we went down the stairs to our building, and I was singing a Floopy and Bean song, just as some of our downstairs neighbors came out their door, and I realized they had caught me singing a Floopy and Bean song. And I had a moment of embarrassment. Our neighbors are two girls, I would assume, maybe in like their mid to late 20s. And I
Now wondering which one of them you think is Floopy and which one of them you think is the Bean.
They opened the door just as I was walking by in mid Floopy and the Bean. Kind of stopped,
Aww.
like looked behind me, and they kind of like tried not to laugh, to be polite. Then they did laugh, and I walked out the door sheepishly. And it was one of those moments where I thought to myself, man, I'm often glad that I'm not single anymore, but this was one of those moments where I'm so happy that I'm not only not single, but not looking in any way, shape, or form. Because if I ever thought that maybe there was a chance that I could spark up a friendship of some kind with these two girls, that flew out the door the minute they heard me fluttering through a Floopy and Bean notation.
Two heartbroken listeners this morning. They'd both tuned in. They'd heard you yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, well, isn't that the guy who does the morning show for Cavalry? Well, let's listen in. Let's see if we can, pick up some intel here." Crush those dreams.
Have you seen them since?
No.
They're hiding.
No, they moved out.
I don't know if I can face them now, Sarah. It was that bad.
How often do you run into them? Like, is it going to happen at one point?
Hopefully not while singing. No, I hope.
No, double down on it. Double down on it. The next time you see them, have a different track going, same lyrics, and just make it a thing. Make it a thing. Make it normal.
Should I just record it and you put the tape into a ghetto blaster and
Totally
hold it up to the old?
Yeah.
What's that? Love Actually? Is that what that's from?
So, that's from it's from way back before
From
that.
yeah, an older movie.
It's like a movie from the late 80s, early 90s, I think.
Where
Maybe
is
even
Jesse when you need him?
I know, right? But I know what the track is. It's In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
Oh,
I can
there
do
we
that.
go. Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't have a parody for that one.
No, it doesn't really. That doesn't really scan, does it? You can't put Floopy or Bean into that. In Your Bean, bit weird.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Yeah.
So yeah.
But anyway, so that was my my moment of embarrassment and sudden horrific self-awareness. But it did also kind of remind me, as you alluded to, Sarah, as well, that there was a song last Christmas that we did with not Penny, but a different dog that you were looking after at the time, named Hippo, who had
I
since
forgot about that.
been adopted. If you,
I
if
only
you
remembered Finnegan.
do you have headphones over there, Sarah?
Yes, I can find some.
You pop those on.
gosh.
And,
What was this from again? Why was he crying? Oh, this was in this crate.
I think, yeah, he was crying in his crate, and you decided to record it and sent me the recording. You were like, make this into a song.
The reason he was crying in the crate, I remember this, is because there used to be two puppies that you'd adopted.
Oh, and his sister got adopted. Yes.
Yeah, so he was alone.
Here's Hippo from Christmas 2019. Howl of the Bells.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Did you ever pre-plan sick days? Now, I shouldn't admit that I've done this in the past.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah.
See, I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't just call in. I'm too honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'd call in
I
and
got
be
over
like,
that at
I'm
some
not
point.
feeling it today.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the afternoon.
Mm.
And sometimes that was received well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it wasn't.
You need a doctor's note with the doctor confirming that you are, quote, not feeling it.
Yes, and I did. Sometimes. Friends of mine that just happen to be doctors.
How do you get that from the doctor? Doctor, you just write a note just saying he's not feeling it.
Yeah,
his head's not in it today.
Signed Emmanuel Ramos.
Yeah, anyway, maybe we won't talk about that too much at length, but if you're going to play, if you've been holding off on a planned sick day, perhaps today is the day.
Or
execute.
even if there's just like a little niggle of something, you know what I mean? Just like a little something that I've done. I've been like, that's a sniffle. I better call in sick.
It's not a scratchy throat, but it's a scritch.
Yeah,
in my throat.
Totally. You're not really sick.
I see what you're saying.
But there's just enough there that you're like, well, I don't want to chance it, so I'm going to take 3 days off.
Well, I can tell you that one company that I don't think has taken any days off because they haven't been able to open at full capacity yet in the last better part of 2 years since cannabis legalization took place in Canada. Relief NT, which is a private cannabis, now a private cannabis retailer. Before that, just your run-of-the-mill, actually really nice looking inside head shop, but nevertheless, just a head shop. Now, they have full license from the GNWT to open a private cannabis dispensary at 5123 51st Street, and I have seen them doing work in the last month or so. They've been doing full-scale renovations to what, of course, previously was the Thornton's building. Yep. Thornton's is no longer there. Even the sign's not there anymore. They took all that down.
Space is still there, though.
Yes.
So Relief is on, when you walk in, it's on the left.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing with the Thornton's space. And actually, I thought the renovations was on Thornton's.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I'm very curious about what was going on in there.
Well,
but then when we heard about Relief,
so I haven't been. Have you been in the building recently?
I haven't. I almost did when they were working on it. It's like I'm kind of weird that way. Sometimes I'm like, hey, do you guys mind if I come in and have a quick look?
Yeah, just nosy neighbor.
Yeah, and I didn't pull the trigger on this one, but I did want to because I was very curious. And they put a accessibility ramp out front.
Yep. That's all I thought they were doing at first. I thought they were just, we've been running an ad for the NWT Human Rights Commission talking about accessibility. Yep. And, that's kind of ramping up, that businesses need to be not only compliant with what was building code before, but now accessibility codes.
Correct.
That's all I thought that they were doing, just adding a wheelchair ramp where there previously wasn't one and kind of getting up to code that way. But no, I think they've been doing like full-scale renovations inside. And I don't know if you noticed this, Relief NT has a brand new sign out front.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I love a good sign.
And I have to say, it's a vast improvement on their old sign.
What was their old sign?
Their old sign was a palette with a hand-painted Adidas logo.
It was an Adidas logo. It shaped like a weed leaf.
It was a strange decision.
It was a strange decision. Yeah. And it really wasn't. Yeah. It must not have taken long.
It was short-lived.
Yeah.
And it was also strange because it was put up while Thornton's was still operating. And you may recall, not this past summer, but the summer before, Thornton's was running a sidewalk patio.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Such a great spot for a patio. The sun, you got all that evening sun until the sun finally went down in the summer. It was, I missed it so much.
And they had
this past
really
summer.
good. It was a real shame to see Thornton shut down.
It is, yeah.
They were really, really good. And it's actually owned by the same person.
Yes.
Same guy that owns Thornton's owns Relief.
Yeah.
As well.
So that old sign was put up while that patio was still going. The patio was beautiful. The sign was a contrast from beautiful. Let's put it that way.
Two very different audiences. You're reaching out to
audiences. And the sign was taken down shortly thereafter, after patio season. And there was no sign for the longest time. But now, if you go to what was the old Thornton's building, just around the corner from the bowling alley, you'll see a brand new Relief NT sign, and it looks really, really good.
No, I walked by it this morning. I didn't even have a look.
Well, it's still dark out.
That's true.
Well, the benefit of the doubt. It's still dark out.
I'll have a peek in the afternoon.
That's why you didn't
when
notice.
There's better light.
Yes.
I don't want to ruin my first viewing of the new sign.
But it looks really good. So they are one of the businesses that has been issued a private cannabis dispensary license. The other one is Trailblazers Cannabis Shop. Now, I'm not familiar with this one. I don't know what's been going on there, but apparently it's at 100 Borden Drive.
I do. So I do know what's going on there.
Right next to the liquor store.
I'll tell you right now, they don't have a sign up yet.
They don't have a sign.
I know that's important to you. They don't have a sign up yet.
Well, Relief.
So once again,
taking a step in the right direction.
They're in the lead.
Yes.
So Trailblazers is directly next to the liquor store uptown, Stanton Plaza.
Right. Okay.
So what used to
100 Borden Drive. Just say Stanton Plaza Cabin Radio.
No one knows addresses in Yellowknife. You got to give us landmarks.
Right.
It's behind Walmart.
Adjacent to Hot Shot.
Which could be anywhere. I'm pretty sure people have described the airport behind Walmart. Behind Walmart seems to be the most vast area in town.
Yeah, just beyond Range Lake.
Exactly.
That's where the airport is.
I live behind Walmart. Well, that could be anywhere. So the owner of the liquor store also owns Trailblazers.
Okay.
So that area used to be in the liquor store. That was a wine area. So they had much more of a selection.
Right.
And when legalized cannabis came out, they put a big wall up there, and the plan the entire time was to have a dispensary there in that spot.
Okay.
But unlike Relief, they never could get it off the ground because they didn't want to just have a head shop.
Right.
Just it just didn't make financial sense.
So they just threw some counters on the other side.
Well, they basically just threw up a wall.
Yeah.
And they very slowly just kind of plugged away on renovations. And I think actually the renovations have been done for quite a while now. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
But they just didn't want to open the doors until they could actually sell cannabis.
Right. That makes sense. Yep.
So, yeah. So they got to that point just very recently. Opened the doors yesterday. It was open for the first time. I just happened to be there.
Yeah.
I was picking up some chocolate.
Just happened to be
strolling by.
Neighborhood. Yeah.
Someone dragged me in there against my will.
How did you know where it was, AJ? There was no sign.
Well, actually, I was in the liquor store, and I said, hey, do you guys still sell chocolates? And they said, no, it's actually in the store next door. I went, oh, great.
And you didn't mean those liqueur chocolates that no one actually likes.
Tokyo Smoke, my dude.
Tokyo Smoke.
Yes.
Wow.
They're tasty.
Okay.
So I went next door, and they've got it all set up. It's a classic cannabis dispensary store.
Okay.
Where it's super simple.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they all seem to have the same design.
Right.
Where there's, like, nothing on the walls.
No.
They're just white walls. And
that's probably a law of some kind.
It must be, because everywhere they're the same. And they just have, like, a wraparound counter with a glass top.
Yeah.
And just, like, a bunch of pipes and utensils and tools.
Right.
And then that's it.
We can't make it fun to be there, AJ. You don't want to encourage that kind of chicanery.
It just looks empty, doesn't it? Like, it's like you're...
Like it's temporary.
Yeah, it's like you walk into an Apple store and there's just one iPod on display.
Yeah.
If they still sold iPods, I'm living in the past. One iPhone. It just, I don't know, it was kind of weird. But they were having some issues with their...
Well, Apple stores kind of look like that too, actually, now that you mention it.
It always reminds me of that, because they're super simplistic, and they'll just have like one product on display, and then there's like 1 meter's worth of nothing.
Right.
And then another product. So you're like, do you have any stock here? Or do you just have one iPhone and one iPad?
And they look at you and say, buddy, we live in the NWT.
Come on.
Of course we don't.
Of course it'll take 6 months to come in.
But I wanted to mention that. You can read more about that on cabinradio.ca, and also wanted to just throw out a congratulations for persevering and going through what has been a ridiculously long process to both the owners of Relief NT and Trailblazers Cannabis Shop. They are open now. They are, as far as I know, able to sell cannabis. Maybe check them out. They might tell you to come back next week.
Nope, they can.
I don't know if they can.
Yep.
Okay. But congratulations to them. Again, persevering, going through all of the miles and miles of red tape that I'm sure it took to get to this point. And they are now open, and you can go and check them out.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
The cabin is full. We are at our capacity limit. No pictures, anybody. If you go to the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page, you will find yesterday's Cabin Radio Christmas Music Panel selection. Yes, the Christmas Music Panel is back for another year. It's your opportunity to let us know whether or not new Christmas music should be played on Cabin Radio. You simply go to the Facebook page, the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page. You give a listen to our Cabin Music Panel selections, and you simply give us a ho, 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 or a no, no, no. Yesterday's Christmas Panel music selection was Robbie Williams' Can't Stop Christmas. A bit of a combative tinge to this one. So far, the votes are a Confused Heart from Kimberly with a solid ho no. Fair enough. Jackie Hardy says ho ho ho. It suits this year. It absolutely does. And JDQ says the people demand backdoor Santa. Do the right thing. If you're a regular listener to Mornings at the Cabin, you may recall that Backdoor Santa was a 2019 Christmas music panel selection. And as far as I recall, it got a resounding no, no, no.
What?
I know. I was surprised as well.
Oh, man. And actually, the Robbie Williams one was catchy.
Right.
But it had a weird message. It had a bit of an off-putting message.
Yeah. I don't disagree with Kimberly's ho no reaction.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh no.
Is it a ho ho no or ho no no?
It's just a ho no.
Oh, ho no.
Oh no.
Straight across the board, 50-50.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is what we're dealing with. Oh no. Yeah, fair enough. Go give it a listen. Let us know if you have a solid ho-ho no, or a ho-ho-ho, or a no-no-no, or somewhere in between. All answers are welcome. We'll come back with another Christmas music panel selection tomorrow. But in the meantime, everyone's talking about their Spotify playlists, which a little bit of mixed feelings about here at a radio station, of course, when we talk about listening to music on other devices. But you know what? It's just the age we live in.
What's Spotify?
We can... AJ, come on.
Everyone listens to Cabin Radio.
Everyone listens to Cabin Radio, and I mean, quite frankly, everyone uses Spotify. I would be shocked if anyone I know in my age demographic doesn't have a paid for Spotify account. AJ,
Do
Spotify?
I have a paid for one? Actually, I think I do.
Yeah.
I think I have premium. Yeah.
Sarah,
I have Ollie's.
yeah, Ollie, and so obviously, I mean, I share one with Nicole, so it's fine. Yeah, and that actually skewed my Spotify top 2020 top listens, which lots of people are sharing on social media now. Sarah brought it up and made me aware that this was a thing because I got an email about it the other day, and I was just like, why is Spotify emailing me? Delete. But it's interesting. You get to look back at your listening habits from the previous year. So I just took a look at mine and just taking a look down the categories that it brings up. I discovered 528 new artists this year.
Wow.
That's better than
yeah.
Ollie and I think mine was 212. You
Wow.
were like 3 something.
I think so.
So these, these artists can thank us for discovering them and making them
Well,
music stars.
you make a lot of the big playlist decisions here, so it's for the best that you're discovering a lot of artists. That's good.
429 genres did I explore this year. I didn't even know there were that many genres.
I thought there was 12.
I
Yeah,
thought like
to be clear,
8.
there
Yeah.
are not that many genres.
Wait, maybe that was the one that I had 212 on.
in my top 5 genres I had listened to, number 5 was freak folk. What even is that?
Like Shred Kelly. I'd call them freak folk.
Okay.
Freak folk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
So there you go. I'm listening to genres that I didn't know existed.
Weird.
Or something even weirder like a Lemon Bucket Orchestra.
Yeah.
Would you call them
that's-
freak folk?
That's freak.
Yeah.
You can't get freakier or
Yeah.
folkier, so yeah.
My top track that helped me get through 2020 was Van Morrison, Into the Mystic. I was okay with that.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
Good for you.
That's a good one.
I'm afraid mine's going to be a little weird.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the Thong Song by Cisco
Oh,
on
my.
repeat lately.
You know what? It's
And
2020, AJ.
I'm concerned my top song will be along those lines.
Whatever
did it
gets
help
you through.
Did it help you get through 2020?
Well, yeah.
Then okay.
The later part of it, yeah.
I mean, it
So-
helped us all get through 1996. When did that song come out? No, it was
I don't know.
like 2001.
A long
something
time
like that.
ago.
Yeah, it helped us get through it. My podcast, top 5 podcast, that was skewed because Nicole listens to a lot of podcasts. I contributed to the Conan O'Brien podcast being number 2.
Good
Number 1 was My Favorite Murder, which is a very popular podcast, especially among people who like hearing about murder stories.
That'll be brought up in the court case for sure.
Mornings at the Cabin podcast slid it at number 5.
And number 5.
Yeah.
Come on.
Not only are you on it, but you also produce it.
And finally, my top artist of the year, very Canadian, very Yellowknife folk related, the Strumbellas.
Oh, nice.
I'm okay
Well done.
with that. Yeah. How are your Spotify playlist years going? Ollie, what was your stats looking like?
Yeah, not surprising. I don't think regular listeners of this show would have much trouble. I think they maybe take 2 guesses max to think what my top artist of the year was.
Okay.
You want to have a little...
Genesis.
Yeah, so this is why I think you might need the second guess.
Okay. Peter Gabriel.
There you go.
Ah.
Yep. So, I think Genesis were 3rd behind Kate Bush.
Yeah, narrow it down. Narrow it down.
Top track of the year was Walk Through the Fire by Peter Gabriel, which wasn't even ever released on an album of his.
Oh, wow.
That's how big a Peter Gabriel fan I am.
Wow.
Top track of the year was never even released until an archive set was put out about 30 years after he recorded it. It was going to be on his 1986 album So, which is the one with Sledgehammer on it, that kind of propelled him to commercial greatness in the back end of the 80s, but it didn't make the cut. But it is a bop. So I've been listening to that
Okay.
all the way through the year. So there you go.
Top podcast.
I don't use Spotify to listen to my podcast.
Oh, really?
So
I'm the
bit
same
skewed.
way. Yeah.
So I use Google Podcasts for that. So I do not have podcast info for you, but there's only one I really listen to anyway, which is Mayo and Kermode's Film Review, which is a BBC podcast and is one of the greatest podcasts of all time. They've been making it for about 20 years now.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's
before podcasts even were a thing.
the show's been on the air since 1991.
Wow.
So, yeah, they've been at this a long, long time. And it sounds like a movie review podcast, and it is a movie review podcast, but the dynamic between the two of them is like it's like if you and Wheeler made a podcast about movie reviews. Like, it would touch on movies.
Oh, that'd be great.
Right.
So one would know what the movie was about, the other has never seen it.
I mean, okay. They're a little bit... Okay, yeah, fair. There's a little more movie knowledge than that, but a lot of the podcast is about things that are not movies, and it's just a great listen. So,
okay.
So that's my number one podcast.
Okay. Sarah, your Spotify playlist. Or top. I don't know how to introduce this thing. What is it? The top, the 2020 Spotify Wrapped. Okay. How did your Spotify wrap?
Top song, I'll Be There by Walk Off the Earth.
Okay.
Another Canadian.
I don't know if I know that
number
one.
2 is Quitting You by the Arkells.
Oh,
and then the fifth one is Way, Way Back by Donovan Woods. So yeah, a lot of Canadians.
Okay.
This is good CanCon.
Very nice.
Good
Well done.
Top genre, embarrassed to admit, country.
Whoa.
Country. Whoa.
Yeah, didn't expect that.
Keeps that one quiet at work, but every waking moment outside work, mainlining
I just
country.
binge it once in a while when I'm home and no
Once
one
in a
else is
while,
home.
like twice daily.
Don't be
No,
ashamed.
I know I shouldn't be.
No, you should be ashamed.
Be proud of your country.
Okay.
Love.
We broadcast a whole 2 hours of country per 120 odd hour week here.
You just became Samantha Stewart's
Yay.
favorite journalist. It's a good thing.
Top artists. Number 1, the Arkells. Number 2, Kip Moore. That's where the country comes in. 3,
Okay.
Taylor Swift. 4, Donovan Woods. 5, Walk Off the Earth. So yeah, 3 Canadians in there.
Do you think Spotify is also just classifying Taylor Swift still as country? No. Okay.
I think Spotify
Wasn't sure if they would have updated their genre filters from 2006 to 2000.
Yeah, she very quickly got out of that genre.
Yeah.
Spent a
one
brief
album.
period in freak folk and then came back out of it. Yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts on Spotify?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't listen to podcasts as much anymore now that I'm not driving anywhere or taking the bus anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
But Reply All would be my top podcast on here. But
What's
if
that
I was
one
on
about?
the NPR one, it would be Planet Money.
What's Reply All?
Reply All, it's these two guys who kind of talk about technology and solve tech type problems. It's about the internet. It's very funny.
Okay.
It's like about the internet without being too like techie or
Gotcha.
confusing. They're just just fun.
Just fun.
It's very hard to
I
describe.
like that. Yeah.
I like it.
AJ, your Spotify Wrapped.
Okay, well, how do I do it first? I'm in Spotify. I'm assuming I click
Or are you
on this
going
big-
through it live
Yeah.
on the air right now?
Scott and Ollie and I have already watched ours.
Yeah.
Just doing it live.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got the little background
Okay.
music there.
So, oh, wow. Are we just going to have to sit and watch the... Okay,
I
the
guess
longest,
so.
You could flip through them.
No, the longest year ever made... Okay, that's confused.
Okay.
Let's start
talk among
you off with a
yourselves,
win.
everyone.
Okay, 1,158 new artists this year.
Wow.
Take
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Damn.
That's
Yeah.
almost
He's listening
double.
to that
Lecter.
release radar
Impacting
plus
that
playlist.
music industry.
Okay, what's the next one here? One song helped you get through it all, and it is Mexico.
Mexico.
Yep, by my gosh, why is this?
Siskel.
Ryan Lerman. Actually, yeah, I really, really like that song.
Song
Okay.
no one
Yeah.
here has heard
I
of.
don't know that song.
Check it out, everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't think it's Canadian,
Mr.
unfortunately.
1000 Artists Discovered here is bound to have heard something we have.
Yeah, boy, do we feel silly now.
Yeah, jeez.
But a year like 2020 required backup. Your top songs: Mexico, Ryan Lerman; Sun in Your Eyes, Mo Diplo; Fake Friends, The Vans; Sleep on the Floor, The Lumineers; and Still Blue Seaway.
I am very disappointed in the lack of Thong Song.
Yeah, well,
I only know The Lumineers
give me
on
another
that.
month. It's definitely up there. Okay, what else we got here? You're a Pioneer, it tells me.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Throw it back. Since time wasn't real this year, you revisited some old favorites. Okay, let's just skip right by that. Who was by your side in 2020? You listened to 2,645 artists this year.
Good Lord.
660, number one. Yes. The Vans, Australian band. The Lumineers, Wild Rivers, Canadian band. And Mac Miller.
Oh,
the
hey.
late Mac Miller.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Pretty varied collection of genres there.
54,872 minutes listened.
Wow.
Top
I got like
I need to go
5,000.
check mine. I think mine was 18,000.
54.
Do you just have your Spotify running while you're sleeping?
Yeah, honestly,
days is that?
pretty close to it.
Ah.
So I listen to music when I get out of the vehicle, walking up here. I listen to music when I leave here, walking to my vehicle. I listen to music whenever I'm outside doing anything. If I'm doing dishes or chores, I listen to music.
Sorry, 54,000 minutes is 37 and a half days straight listening this year alone.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
More than a month. It's just like leaving Spotify on for more than a month. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting your money's worth.
Could you try listening to the Cabin Radio app?
I do. Usually the funny thing, the number one time I listen to it is when I'm running late in the morning. I'm like, oh, coming up to 7 o'clock, I better listen in.
How late am I? Oh, the news is running. Oh, I better pick it up.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.